yes. Atụrụ ebule bụ aka nwa. That's Igbo for saying that when you have a useless child, it's as good as having no child. Nigeria has gradually grown into a useless country with all the promise. All we have is a place where the worst in society come to roost. But when they roost, they don't take the position of the worst. They become the leaders and the wealthiest and the elite. Everybody is spinning this Dele Farotimi story against Babalola. But all I want to appeal to everybody is follow the antecedents. Don't worry about what money can buy and which press and which journalists money can buy. Worry about Babalola's reputation from the past. Go read up on them. It's all over the place. And worry about Dele Farotimi's reputation. My simple question to you is, based on antecedents, whose story do you want to believe, at least until the court decision? Unfortunately, even the court decision in Nigeria, it's not gonna be fair for Dele Farotimi unless we multiply me by 20,000 across Nigeria and the world. And unless we multiply the number of Nigerians willing to protest for goodness in the millions to shut the country down until we get justice for Dele Farotimi. Here is Dele Farotimi's story, and I'll put it side by side with some things I'm reading that spin doctors are spinning for Babalola. And all I want to say to you is, follow the antecedents. Follow Babalola's history and follow Dele Farotimi's history in terms of business integrity. That's all I ask you. And that's not too much to ask.
It came out, I'm saying that Babalola corrupted the judiciary. And in corrupting the judiciary, it came across my practice. When I came across it, I challenged it as a lawyer and I fought it to the point where he could not enjoy the fruit of his exertion in the Supreme Court. In writing the letter that he wrote to the then Chief Justice of Lagos State, Ayomide Philip, he libeled me and I sued him for libel. And when I sued for libel, the machines of corruption went into overdrive, and a case that should never have been killed at the preliminary stage was killed. If Babalola was the only person who is licensed to enjoy that level of impunity, that's different. It's not about him. It's a system-wide problem. You simply can't get justice from the system.
You guys heard what Dele Farotimi just said. You can't get justice, but it has to start somewhere. We can't continue to say we can't get justice. The reason we can't get justice is that Nigerians are sitting their asses at home, complaining and complaining, and I'll always give my alibi. Because I know that as you listen, you're saying, yeah, he's sitting in America, and hell yes, I'm sitting in America, but you are not. But I'm fighting for you from America. Why don't you get your ass off your couch and go fight for you? Fight for your children. Fight for your grandchildren. What you are going through will be worse for your children and your grandchildren if you don't get your ass up and go and fight for them today. Nigerians need to organize. And all I'm trying to say in saying this is, think about the history of things Nigerians have swept under the rug. Do you remember a man called Dele Giwa? How many Nigerians under 40 years old today can actually give you a semblance of what happened to Dele Giwa? Because Nigerians sweep things under the rug and move on. And I bet you somebody, even in Dele Giwa's family, is saying, we told him not to talk. Why did he talk? Why wouldn't he talk, for God's sake? If things are wrong, why do Nigerians shut up? Have we found who killed Dele Giwa? Have we insisted on a detailed investigation to get to the bottom of who killed Dele Giwa? The person that killed Dele Giwa or plotted the death of Dele Giwa is walking around free in Nigeria. And very likely, he's a billionaire. I mean in dollars, not in naira. And some Nigerians are worshiping him or her, whoever killed Dele Giwa, because all Nigerians care about is how wealthy is he. They don't give a rat's ass how the money came. In the meantime, Dele Giwa, who was fighting for freedom of information in Nigeria, because the only way this nonsense in Nigeria can stop is for there to be free access to information so that we know who is who. Just like we have a drug dealer sitting in Asher Rock. Everybody knows he's a drug dealer, but there is no concrete evidence in Nigeria to nail him to it. That's why he's your president. And beyond Dele Giwa, let's talk about Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has now been in Nigeria's jail for 3 years plus. Nnamdi Kanu has been set free by Nigerian courts, and the Nigerian presidency and the authorities that be have refused to let Nnamdi Kanu go. He's still alive, but I hope, like me, you are worried about what they may have pumped into him, because these people are very deadly. Very, very deadly. How many Nigerians, besides a person like Dele Farotimi, can raise their hands? I mean significant Nigerians who can be heard can raise their hands and say they fought for Nnamdi Kanu. And I'm talking to Igbos. Igbo leaders, Igbo so-called leaders. I've told Igbos it's time to start identifying Igbo women that are qualified to become senators and governors in Igbo land, because the Igbo men that we have so far are not doing it. If Igbo leaders are doing it, Nnamdi Kanu, like Sunday Igboho, like Omo Yele Showore, and others would not spend more than 6 months in jail. But he's Igbo, and there is nobody to fight for him. The Dele Farotimi who has been fighting for him, and the Omoyele Sowore, who have been fighting for him, besides his lawyers, and Dele Momodu, who have been fighting for him. Those are the significant voices in Nigeria that are, and we have to give credit to 3 Igbo people who have really championed on national TV Nnamdi Kanu's position, because most Igbo leaders, Igbo men, are cabal pocketed. Even when they come out with their lip service, they dance to the cabal, and they're scared of losing the next election because they're fighting for Igbo. The 3 people I want to give credit, along with the Yoruba voices that have been fighting for Nnamdi Kanu, are Dan Olase from Newi. Dan Olase has been out there visiting him in jail, being on TV every opportunity, challenging the federal government on the issue. Nnamdi Kanu's House of Rep member from Igbere, I think it's House of Rep member Agocha, he has been out there always talking. He's visited him in jail, and he keeps going to talk to the president. And of course, you need the news. And Charles Aniagolo, at every opportunity, invites people to talk about Nnamdi Kanu's plight. So Charles Aniagolo, as a news person on Arise TV, is playing a significant role. But where are the Igbo men? Where are the Igbo millionaires and billionaires, and I mean millionaires and billionaires in dollars? Where are the Igbo politicians? Where are the Igbo traditional rulers? It's shameful. Now let's move on to something that happened way back when. I think his name is Dikibo from River State. He was murdered, timed, followed, communicated with, to be sure exactly where he was, by his murderers, and cornered somewhere between Omonede and Niger Bridge on his way to a PDP convention. And he was killed by assassins that were sent by members of his own political party. Has there been any meaningful investigation? I'm just trying to tell you guys my concerns about how Nigerians are going to react to fighting for Dele Farotimi. Nothing has happened about the killers of Dikibo. Then we go to his brother from the same area, River State, Bayelsa, that area. Harry Marshall. He wasn't going anywhere. He was in his own house in Abuja. The assassins came through the roof, and the security forces conveniently pretended they didn't know what was going on, and the man was murdered in his house. Until this day, there is no meaningful investigation. Then we go to the famous Lagos case. Who killed Funsho Williams? We all know who we suspect killed Funsho Williams. And this particular one and the next one are 2 that really makes me laugh about tribalism in Nigeria. Yorubas want Igbos to leave Lagos. Yoruba's biggest problem is Igbo people. If you take Igbo people out of Nigeria, Yoruba's problems will be solved. Yorubas love themselves so much Their only problem is Igbo people. Once you take Igbo people out of the way, the problem in Yoruba land is solved. A highly favored, very popular Yoruba candidate for governor in Lagos State was killed in his bedroom. In his bedroom by assassins sent by Yoruba people. It wasn't Igbos who killed Funsho Williams. It wasn't Hausa people. It wasn't Edo Efik. It was Yoruba people, or at least it was Yoruba people who planned it and paid the riffraffs that went to kill him. But where are the Yoruba voices to find a favorite Yoruba son? Zilch. Once money comes out and shuts everybody up, to hell with Funsho Williams. But Igbos are Yoruba's problems, not fellow Yorubas. Your problem is in your backyard. Your problem in Nigeria is in your backyard, not in the southeast. But there is more. But today, a favorite, upright, good Yoruba son, Dele Farotimi, is locked up, abducted, not by an Igbo man, not by an Hausa man, not by an Edo man, or a Rivers man, or Calabar man, or Ibibio man. Dele Farotimi is abducted and being incarcerated because of the high-handedness of a fellow Yoruba man. And he's gonna go all out with his money to destroy Dele Farotimi if we let him. Folks, who killed Funsho Williams? A Yoruba person killed Funsho Williams. Have Yorubas fought for Funsho Williams? Have Yorubas fought for justice for Funsho Williams? I mean, it's screwed up priorities. Your problem is the Igbo man, but your headache is in your backyard, but you're blinded to it because of tribalism. You always talk about Tiwa ni Tiwa. So the person, the Yoruba person who killed Funsho Williams is Tiwa, and Funsho Williams is not Tiwa, because if he's Tiwa, you'll find justice for a fellow Yoruba man. What about Bola? I hear all the bragging, Uncle Bola. Some call him Cicero, the greatest lawyer that ever lived up to his time. That's how he was bragged about. And guess what? I respected Bola. He deserved every one of those accolades. But all those people giving him those accolades, where are they in the fight for Bola? I know where I'm going with this, because I'll come back to Dele Farotimi. But I'm just trying to say, sometimes Yorubas need to take a step back. Nigerians in general, it doesn't matter, because it's the way we relate to each other. Our tribalism is stupid tribalism, because when it counts, we don't even fight for people who are part of our tribe that we're fighting for. The Attorney General, Minister of Justice of the Nigerian Federation, was cold-bloodedly murdered in his bedroom. He was not murdered by an Igbo man. He was not murdered by an Hausa man. He was not murdered by an Edo man, or an Efik man, or a Ibibio man, or Bayelsa man, or Ijo man, or Urobo man. He was murdered by a Yoruba person, a favorite Yoruba son. Murdered, plotted and murdered. The plot was by Yoruba people. murdered by a Yoruba person. No meaningful investigation. And the same people who want Igbos must go don't think that the murderers among them must go. They grab it, they run with it, it's fine with you. As long as he's a Yoruba man. But when he does ugly against Yoruba people, I don't mean Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he has nothing to do with Bola Ige. But I'm talking generally. When your fellow Yoruba person is murdered by your fellow Yoruba person, everything is hunky-dory. It's shameful. Nigeria, we need to really reconsider what we are doing as a country. And the best thing that can happen in Nigeria, both to Igbos and Yorubas, is you're fighting for Duduwa, get your Duduwa and go. You're fighting for Biafra, get your Biafra and go. But I promise you one thing. When Igbos go to Biafra and Yorubas go to Oduduwa, we're going to be reading headlines about how they are killing themselves. Because Igbos' problems is not Yorubas. Yorubas' problems is not Igbos. Both problems is the screwed up country we live in and the brainwash which we live by. May God help all of us. Let's get to the next one. We're still talking about Bola Ige. And I just want to show these pictures. I want to show these pictures. Some of you want me to hurry up. No, I'm not hurrying up. I want you to see the victims of your atrocities of closing your eyes and pretending you cannot see when you could see the evils that are happening before your eyes, but you choose to be controlled by bigotry and tribalism. It will catch up with you. It will catch up with all of us. Let's go east. In Enugu State, Barrister Oyibo Chukwu, running for Senate under the flagship of Labour Party in the 2023 elections in Enugu State, murdered in cold blood. Has there been any investigation? Has the governor, the current governor who won, instituted an investigation into the murder of Barrister Oyibo Chukwu? Have people in Enugu insisted that they want? No, life goes on. We scream for 2 days and we let it go. And that's why when I share my videos, some of you, I intentionally pump out my videos to piss some of you off. Because instead of watching things that will make you think and provoke your thoughts to decide whether we need to fight for our country, your initial instinct is, there he goes again. Yeah, there he goes again with good researched facts to help get your ass off your couch and fight for a country where, yes, you may not live there, but your parents live there, your siblings live there, your nephews, your nieces, your cousins, your uncles, your aunties live there. Or if you live there and you're well-to-do, not everybody in your circles are well-to-do. You have somebody close to you who is suffering the same thing that everybody else is suffering. I continue to bore you with my bold talk on Allen TV because I know human nature, and I know that the propaganda that leaves Nigeria where it is today is a brainwash that has gone on for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And the only way to fix that brainwash is to come back. Starting 2 years ago when I started this bull talk thing, and keep pumping it and pumping it and pumping it till I go 6 feet under, hopefully in 30 years. We need more bold talks across Nigeria to bore the heck out of you. But like they say in Igbo, arụrụ a na-agba afọ, ọghọrọ omenala. So if you see bold talk and similar programming on social media as something you don't want to deal with, maybe if we keep pumping it into your thick skull, it will become omenala that you kick back and relax and listen and learn, because we have facts that can help you. Back to Dele Farotimi. Nigerians, what does it take to say that this is the straw that broke the camel's back? What hasn't Dele Farotimi done to fight for this country? He wasn't fighting like me. I'm fighting from 7,000 miles away. He was fighting right there in the lion's den, so that you and I and our children unborn can have a better place to call home. You saw the footing, you saw the video clips of how he was picked up and taken away. Is that the kind of country you want to live in? 2 days ago, it was Dele Farotimi. Tomorrow, it may be you. It may be your dad. It may be your uncle. It may be your son. And the evil cabal has no boundaries. It may be your wife, your mother, or your daughter. We all need to get up and fight to make sure that Babalola does not use his wealth to destroy a fellow Nigerian whose only crime is that he told a story that Nigerians need to know. And if his story is wrong, he has the right to be a free man and go to court and tell his story until a judge says that what he told was a lie. And if Babalola is right in saying that he was defamed by Dele Farotimi, my sympathies are with him, and I wish he finds that in court. But the fact is, no Nigerian should be put in jail without trial. And no Nigerian should be so powerful that they can usurp the powers of the police of Nigeria to witch hunt people they have disagreements with. And no government can claim neutrality or innocent when a citizen is picked up gangland style and abducted and taken to another state, and the government stays mum and pretends they don't know what's going on. And to all those Nigerians, and I could show you on my phone, my inbox is laden with, because I've been sharing a lot of things about this affair, Babalola's cases from the past. And I have Yorubas that are cursing me out and saying that I'm telling one side of a story. One of them claimed that this is a land dispute between Afe Babalola and Dele Farotimi. Fine. The jury is still out. We're waiting to see where that land dispute was. But until we get there, I just want to tell my viewers, beware of Nigeria's news distorting spin doctors. Remember what the Nigerian news distorters, especially the Lagos news mafia, spent 50 plus years since the war ended doing to the reputation of Igbos in Nigeria. And in the last few years, how many of those stereotypes about Igbos has not been dislodged? Igbos don't sell land to foreigners. Lie. Igbos like money. The people controlling most of the money in Nigeria are not Igbos. The money that Igbos have is hard-earned money. Igbos this, Igbos that. Thanks be to God. Except for the bigoted cabal in the west and in the north. Most of Nigeria, especially the other tribes of Nigeria, have come to see that all those lies against Igbos are nothing but what they are, lies. Today, we have Afe Babalola's spin doctors spinning and spinning and spinning about what the case is with Dele Farotimi. Just like 50 plus years later, Igbos are pumping their chests out in Nigeria because every one of those lies you told against them has been disputed. It won't be long before, by the grace of God, they don't hurt him. It won't be long before Dele Farotimi comes out, sits back in his studio, and talks to Nigeria about the factual atrocities that these people are committing against your country, our country. May Nigerians wake up and fight for one of ours. And may harm not come to Dele Farotimi wherever they are holding him. As a parting shot to Afe Babalola's advisors, not to the elder himself, I'll respect him, but to his advisors, here is a parting shot, a lesson you could learn from a millionaire about how to react to things that are said about you that may someday come out to be true, but even if they are lies, listen to this man advise every power-flexing Nigerian about how wealthy elders should behave when things are said about them.
A small publication that came to me some years ago carried the following, quote, Once a man who had been slandered by a newspaper came to Edward Everett Hale asking what to do about it. Said Hale, "Do nothing. Half the people who bought the paper never saw the article. Half of those who saw it did not read it. Half of those who read it did not understand it. Half of those who understood it did not believe it. Half of those who believed it are of no account anyway." So many of us make a great fuss of matters of small consequence. We are so easily offended.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, this is Fred Nwankwo coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bull Talk on Allen TV. And until next time, please like, please share, please subscribe, please leave your comments. Good night and God bless.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born. I think of my family and the poor farmhouse we had. There in my home, we had no sophistication. We had no timepiece, the cockcrow and the sun, all we had. Rise early at sunup, we'd go to the farms, drive the monkeys away from the maize farms, and the birds away from the rice farms. Come back home at sundown.